Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
At just 12, these two girls nearly took another classmate's life. Last May, they boarded
A fellow passenger on a greyhound bus basically walking the streets of Winnipeg unsupervised. And the decision is causing concern. Vincent Li is schizophrenic and found not criminally responsible.
Cheddars. That's why I'm glowing. We just ate cheddars. That's the only reason I'm glowing. I had a steak. I've got that post-steak glow.
Don't do it.
I was gonna ask what a cheddar is.
Okay, cool.
So cheddars is like, do they have cheddars where you're at, Celeste?
I don't know, man. Lots of things are cheddars.
What about a Ruby Tuesday?
I'm aware of a Ruby Tuesday. Never been to
It's like a Ruby Tuesday.
Okay. So just like a mid-range restaurante. So you had cheddars. Would you have steak, you said?
Well, I'm in Kentucky, so it's like top shelf. It's like, that's 4-star to us. But yeah, it's like a mid-range, get a burger or a steak, or like, yeah, that's like top. That's like, oh, we're gonna eat it nice tonight.
Did you wear like the good jean jacket?
I wore exactly what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing basketball shorts.
Sick.
So
that's good to know. Oh, well, it's good to have you back, Kent. I like having you around.
good to be back, man. And Cheddar's has a fish tank. And that's how you know you're in a classy joint.
Yeah.
They're saltwater fish, I want to point out.
Do you eat them?
Do what?
Do you eat them?
No. You just look at them.
You can't go in there and request that fish?
No, you can't. Well, I mean, you probably could for a price. This is Kentucky. So if you it's like, I'll give you $200 to cook that thing up, they'd probably be like, all right.
I would have done it for 50.
Yeah. Fuck, we don't feed them anyway. They usually just eat each other.
I have a friend that went to Red Lobster, and he from where I'm from, and Red Lobsters are like that's not around us. That's like the big city place. And he literally went into the lobster tanks and like, we want these ones. You're like, okay, dude, that's not how this works. Let's go sit down.
Hey, you don't get to pick the lobster there.
Yeah, no, you could, I guess, but you don't walk in and go like, these are the ones we're having. You wait for a conversation to be had, I think.
Did you know that lobster meat isn't a solid until it's cooked?
Yes.
I did not.
I have seen, what the fuck is that movie called? Castaway.
Castaway. Yeah. It's like a slimy liquid.
Also how I learned to open a coconut. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, all the lessons from Tom Hanks.
If you like Castaway, there's a game called Stranded Deep that is so fucking good.
Yep.
It's so good. It's basically Castaway the game. That's what it is.
So you're just bored on an island. Oh, I'm about to die.
It's cool. You get to fuck up sharks with a sharp stick. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Yeah. You're in a plane wreck, just like Tom Hanks is, and then you float to this island and you just gotta get off the like there's not like an ultimate goal, it's just survive. But you can make like rafts and then go to other islands, sail the ocean, find other islands that have better supplies, and you just survive on coconuts, and you build a hut, and eventually you can work your way up to like having a nice steady lifestyle where the game is super easy.
There you go.
And then you can start being concerned about escaping if you want to, but a lot of people just play it for how long can I survive, because there is a way to beat the game, but it's like super complicated and it takes forever. But it's a cool game. It's a great game.
That's cool. I've never even heard of it, but that sounds interesting. So you can't actually get off the island. It's not like you just like build a paradise and you die there.
Now you can do that if you want,
Okay.
if that's what you want to do. But you
Kinda
can
what I
also
wanna do.
so there's like it's hard to find, but out in the ocean somewhere, and you got to keep in mind the map is massive. It's ocean. And but there's a bunch of separate islands that you can find if you sail long enough. But there's this crashed military ship that's been there forever, and it's got an old plane on it, and you've got to make the supplies to fix the plane, and then you can escape on the plane.
I see. You just know how to fly a plane. That's awesome.
You just know how to fly a plane.
I love video game logic. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention the fact it's been there like 50 years.
Have you played Firewatch?
Yes, beat it. Loved it. Fantastic game. Yeah, great story.
Amazing.
The game had a great story.
No.
That's another one you need to check out. It's another free roam. You're a you're one of the rangers in the forest, the wilderness, and your job is to watch for fires. You know, obviously that's very little of what you actually do in the game, but it ends up being like a murder mystery.
Ah, cool. I like the story driven shit. Like I hate playing. My kid likes to play like Fortnite and stuff like that. I hate it. I'm not 7. I have things to do. I can't practice this all day. You want me to take a week off work? I'll practice and I'll beat you, but I can't.
Yeah, I hate like games like Fortnite online. Then you're getting your ass whooped by like a 9-year-old who's telling you he's gonna fuck your mom. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
That makes me mad. I couldn't handle my mom, little guy.
She probably would, but you couldn't do it.
My mom will fuck you up.
Yeah, my mom will eat you up, bud. Yeah.
And there's also a survival game called Hobo. And
where
it's
you're just a hobo?
You're a homeless man. Yeah, and you got to build in like a Portland, and you got to go through the trash cans and gather supplies and build you a shack and be the best homeless guy you can be.
Yeah, that's wholesome. I like that.
Yeah.
I've never played it, but I'll have to look for it now.
It has like the same. Have you guys played Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has like the same build mechanics. You know how you build your settlements in Fallout 4?
Yeah, yeah.
It's got the same like build mechanics as Fallout 4. It's basically Fallout 4, but as a homeless guy in modern times.
No guns.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's
No
good.
guns. Yeah. You can beat people up with like a toilet seat
Oh, good. That's better. That's actually better.
or a broken bottle.
I don't know why you can't beat up anyone in Fallout with a toilet seat. That's actually a missed opportunity by Fallout.
I've probably beat Fallout 4 7 or 8 times.
Me too. I love that game. That's
I did.
good.
I beat it under every faction except for the Brotherhood of Steel because they were a bunch of dildos.
That's where I start. They got power armor, bro. Anyways, fucking. What are we doing today?
I don't know.
Should we start this? How
Sorry.
should we start this?
Yeah. Okay. So, hi everybody. Not everybody, actually. The beginning of this episode was supposed to be kind of a throwback to the OG episode 1 of Unethical Podcast, but 2 of the OG hosts are in fact missing, so they're not here to reminisce with us. But Kent, I have a feeling you'll be familiar with this case.
Okay.
So we actually get to take it back to our old friend, Mr. Vince Li, who sadly is no longer in the Facebook group, so he couldn't be reached for commentary.
Are we doing Vince Li seriously?
We're revisiting Vince Li a little bit. Yeah, we are.
Refresh me on this story.
Richard, you wanna?
Yeah, sure. This guy, mental health issues. He's got schizophrenia. Driving on a bus in Canada and lopped off a dude's head on the bus.
Oh shit! Yeah, the Asian dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
We feel like he was in our Facebook group because it was our first episode. And
I know he was there.
Well, I think so too, and I'll tell you the story. Kent, Celeste is like, this guy came in. His name's Steve Harvey, and he's got an Asian emoji guy. And he had first day ever went on Facebook was when he joined our group, and he was in there. And then Celeste like, I think we got him. I'm like, whatever. I'll talk to this guy. So I go like, hey man, is it you, Vince Li or Will Baker? And he just like, I'm like, do I know you? And then he just answered back like 3 months later, you don't know me. That's all. And then he was gone.
Oh, that was definitely him.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying. We had Vince Li. Celeste lives close.
He lives in my city, actually. I'm in Edmonton. That's where he was living before, and that's where he is now. So that's fun.
Oops.
At least if it's going to be any of us, it's going to be Celeste.
He hasn't got me yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ride greyhounds if I were you.
Greyhounds went under. They're out of business now.
Oh, did they really?
They sure
I
did.
didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, so that's fun. I am 100% convinced also that a terror cell in Nigeria has also been watching us since we did the Paris terrorist attacks. And I will also die on that hill.
Without a doubt.
We've trended in Nigeria every week since that episode came out and never before. So just saying.
Yeah.
It's probably the only podcast that'll load. Yeah. I guess it's unethical again.
What I was saying they're probably looking up what does unethical mean, and then they found us like, oh, okay, cool. This is good times. They're trying to figure out. It's like everyone keeps calling us unethical. I don't get it. This Richard guy keeps yelling. It doesn't make sense.
So what are we talking about Vince Li for?
Okay, so basically the reason I bring up Vince Li is because I didn't know this, but on one of his last newspaper runs, he was a newspaper delivery person before the incident. I don't know if anybody remembers this from episode 1, but he was. One of his last newspaper runs was July 20th of 2008, and it was an edition of the Edmonton Sun, which outlined the story of the Trout Lake incident of 1896, which we'll get into, as well as the case of Swift Runner, the subject of today's episode. So again, remembering from episode 1, the Greyhound incident occurred on July 30th of 2008, 10 days later. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first person to be executed by the Northwest Mounted Police, later to be known as the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, was a Cree man, and his name was Kakisikuchin. And I can't pronounce it very well because it's not my language, but that was his name, Kakisikuchin.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
For sure.
And he was known more commonly by locals as Swift Runner. Okay.
That's way easier.
Yeah, that rolls off the tongue. That's a
It
lot better.
does. He was executed for the murder and cannibalism of his wife and 4 of his children, as well as his brother and mother-in-law.
Like you do.
Mm-hmm. Haven't we all?
Not yet, but one of these days, you know. I haven't met the right wife to cannibalize.
Let me guess. This mistake defined his future. This one mistake.
What little of it there was, yes.
Imagine somebody picking one mistake out of your past and being like, "This is who you are for the rest."
Okay, he
of your
made
life.
5 mistakes, to be fair. 5
It was one big mistake.
over the course of an entire winter.
Yeah, shouldn't have had kids. And then the eating thing.
Yeah, that's
Well, I mean, we've all eaten something and regretted it after. If I could
Yeah.
write a book.
I'm feeling that right now.
Too many truffles.
Yeah, I was eating truffles.
Too much cheddars over here.
Yeah, exactly. We're all feeling it right now.
I actually didn't eat before I came, so you're welcome.
Oh, thanks.
Is this going to be a gagger?
No, I don't get too graphic with this one actually, because it is kids. I like to avoid that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to stay away from. You want to try to separate kids and the word gagger, like as far away as you can.
So, given that this case is so old and the records on it are largely passed through word of mouth over the years, a lot of this information may not be entirely accurate and some of it may very well be sensationalized. But unless I say otherwise, I was able to find multiple sources that agreed upon the events.
Sick.
So, we'll get into him a little bit. According to the book Rampage, Canadian Mass Murder and Spree Killing by Lee Melnor, Swift Runner was likely born in 1839, and he was named by a local shaman that kind of names babies based on vibe. This is like a thing. They hand their baby to an old person and they're like, yep, this is
heavy farts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me problems. Just like,
This is Gary.
yeah. It reminds me of Three Ninjas when the grandpa gives them all names. You're Tum Tum.
Wow. It's the worst candy on Halloween.
Yeah, I kind of like this idea of being able to just give someone your baby and you name them. If they don't like it, we can just blame you after, you know?
Where did she say this was going on at?
right where I am. Actually, it's Alberta, Canada.
And what part of Canada are you in, Richard?
I'm in East, Ontario.
Oh, so you're probably semi-close to Jack.
I'm probably closer to Jack than you are, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm near Leroy, you know?
Oh, okay. You guys are probably closer to me than you are each other.
We're definitely closer to Tally than we are each other.
We're Kentucky's not that south. It's south, but not fully. It's in the middle of the states, right?
Yeah, it's in the middle.
Yeah. I'm probably closer to you than I am, I would say.
If Kentucky would be like the large intestines
Okay.
of the country. We were looking at internals,
I thought you were
location.
Okay, I thought you were making comparisons to the content.
Oh, well, that too. That too. Yeah, it's fitting in more than one. Yeah, and then Florida's just the cock
Yeah, the big old hanger, the schlongdong.
hanging off. got a bald eagle perched atop of it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Bald eagle could be one of the kids' names.
So your wife is what is she? Cherokee?
Yeah, Cherokee.
Maybe you'll have actually better luck understanding some of these words than me. I don't know how similar the dialects are.
No, I'm very white.
Algonquin.
I can get her down here.
Richard helps me with French sometimes because his wife is French.
Yeah, that's true. I grew up French though, like not French, but like I grew up learning French.
Only Indian word I know is reservation. Everybody's good and uncomfortable now. I'm so.
No.
I have to be careful, man. There's a lot of shit going on up here right now.
Oh yeah, I know. Jack keeps me informed. That's why I said it.
Yeah, no.
It's hard too. I was writing this episode and he's an alcoholic, right? Like a really bad alcoholic.
Yeah, that's a problem. And I'm not even being racist. That's a problem in Indian communities is alcoholism.
It is so much. But I'm like, how can I write this without mentioning that he's an alcoholic so that people don't get mad at me? Because it's not their fault. But somehow like we don't acknowledge it. But I couldn't because it's actually like really super important that he was an alcoholic. So anyway, sorry if you hate me, everybody.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's not like you're making this up. You're not like you're giving the Swift printer and then going like, you know what? He also drank alcohol. Just kidding. I made that up, but I thought he might because he's native. You're like, no. That's what happened.
Well, have you ever seen the raising on Iwo Jima, the flag raising on Iwo Jima, the 5 Marines? It's like an iconic image of them raising the flag on Iwo Jima. The 5th guy to the left is Ira Hayes. He was an Indian. He was a Marine. Out of all those guys, he was the only one that died of alcoholism. So like it's and it might be white people's fault. I don't know what the history is of alcoholism, and I don't think they had a problem with it until Europeans came over.
Yeah, we showed them it, and we traded all the stuff for it, and we were used to it.
They were better hunters and scavengers than we were, and we would give them whiskey when we didn't have stuff they wanted.
Yeah, and blankets.
The blankets, that was a miss. That was a PR nightmare, but
yeah, wasn't good. Wasn't a good look for us. Yeah.
It's a PR nightmare. Somebody's getting fired at head office for this one.
Oh, someone got fired for that.
Or scalped, whatever.
Genocide always looks bad on a company's image every single time.
No one's done genocide in a few seasons. Let's try genocide.
Worked for Nike.
Maybe there was a bunch of genocides back in the day and we just don't know about them because they're gone.
That's actually true.
We got rid of the translucent people, like fuck those gross ass translucents. Let's get
at one point in history somebody was screaming fuck the purples.
Exactly. Yeah. And we
for real though, if there were translucent people, I would be right on board with genocide. I'm not staring at a fucking jellyfish human being when I go to the bank. Fuck that. I don't even see the fart coming before it comes.
Go back to the ocean. You guys are terrible at lying because I can see right through you. All right, we can move on.
Oh.
Dad jokes. You're welcome. Hey-o.
Thank you.
I'm working all night. Tip your waitresses.
Those non-coloreds.
Yeah. Saran wrappers.
Yeah.
Are we doing this? Are we going to sit here and think of derogatory terms?
Yeah, I want to swear for a translucent guy by the end of the day.
I want to do this just to hear the argument from that one person that's going to get angry over the imaginary racism towards a race that doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you shouldn't say that. We stopped saying
just in
that,
case.
Yeah.
There's one disease that affects 1 in 5 billion people.
Some really offended alternate dimension right now.
Yeah, or you're right, Kent. There's going to be the one guy who's like, I can see through my skin, and I was really offended. Like, yeah, you're one person. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're ginger. Yeah.
Moon babies.
Yeah.
Moon babies. That sounds offensive. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
That does sound super offensive. I don't even know what that means, or if it's even, I think Richard just made that up on the spot. But if somebody said moon babies at a conference meeting, I'd be like, oh, they got to get fired.
Go sit down with Ted in HR. He'll tell you what
That
it's
is
about.
fucking over. We may all be fired.
Where were we?
Telling us about the grandma giving us, or grandma, elder, someone naming the kids.
Oh, yeah. The shaman naming him. He had vibes,
Yeah.
Swift Runner vibes. So, as he grew, he became a very skilled trapper, and he was very skilled at crafting snowshoes and weapons, which were mostly used at war with the neighboring Blackfoot tribes. In his youth, he fell in love with another member of the settlement. Her name was Sun on the Mountain, or in one source, Charlotte.
Okay. Two very different names.
One
like-
feels like it's just really trying to like, if we write Sun on the Mountain, are we going to be racist? Let's just call her Charlotte and fucking save the day. Like,
Something like that.
Yeah.
His name was Chief Running Foot, or some people called him Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it's like, but I don't know. In one source, they called her Charlotte. So
Yeah.
maybe her
No,
name was
it's-
Charlotte. I don't know. Maybe someone who was trying to be like representational was like, we'll call her Sun on the Mountain.
Sure.
Charlotte Spirit was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
So typically in his tribe, marriages were arranged, and this was true in like pretty much all of Cree society, but he was able to win her father over by offering him a horse that he had acquired while raiding a Blackfoot camp. And horses were a symbol of great status, and so her father granted Sun on the Moon's hand in marriage to Swift Runner. So the
That's
two went
cool.
on to have 5 children, while Swift Runner continued to gain favor within their tribe for his skills, agility, and overall sense of humor. He was apparently pretty funny.
That's cool. I feel like if one of Molly's boyfriends in the future brings me a horse, I'd let her date her. I'd be cool with that. I'd be like, you're in. You know, it's a horse.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, fucking right. I got a horse. I don't even know how to ride a horse. I don't know nothing about horses, but I'd be like, sick, bro. So
Yeah, now it can be a 1-horse town.
exactly.
Oh,
We're all crashing in with the puns today. We almost broke Kent with the second one.
fucking turning this off. You guys enjoy this.
Wait, I have a petty fact. Don't go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stay for the penny fact.
Oh
You're
wow,
welcome.
he's really turning the corner on these penny facts.
Something's happened. He's been indoctrinated by petty facts.
I know. I was gonna say the first time he came on the show, I was like, I have a penny fact for you. Like, I will fucking leave. This time it's like, sure, it's fucking refreshing to hear a penny fact again.
I've just kind of weighed my options, been like, well, at least it's not stamps.
Now that you like don't work as much, do you have like downtime? You go to the bank and you're like, do you have any cool pennies?
What do I do now? I just hang out. I wish I could tell you, like, I don't know. I watch more YouTube videos.
Fair. That would explain why you're ripping on Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I can't stand Mr. Beast.
I've come to learn.
Cannot stand Mr. Beast. He's the worst. You guys seem to like him.
I kind of like him.
Move on.
I have like 0 problems with him. It's one of those things where it's like, yes, I agree with both points. Like, I agree that he does it for clicks, but I mean, if he didn't have clicks, he wouldn't do it. So
Also, you got to spend money to make money. Nobody understands that the way he does.
yeah.
Hey,
I
what's
do-
up, Mr. Beast? Here we're here with homeless people. What's up? Fucking cameras in their face. They got no teeth. All right, today we're gonna give them a Tesla if they can fucking fight each other to the death, Mr. Beast. And he's got his fucking stupid friend standing in the corner, brain dead. What's up, Mr. Beast? Cameras in the fucking homeless people's faces.
He's so mad about Mr. Beast.
Cut to Supreme hats. He's got a Supreme hat on. I'm gonna give $5,000 to the first 3 homeless people that can run up this hill. I know that one's in a wheelchair. We'll give him 10 right now.
So
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I don't know, man. Lots of people do lots of fucked up expletive shit to themselves for money. Like, I don't think there's too many girls doing porn for $500 that are like, fuck, this is exactly what I wanted to be when I got older. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that would that wheelchair guy have 10 grand otherwise? You have to have Mr. Beast in your face for 20 minutes.
Have you seen this? I don't know, man. If I was in a wheelchair and I was homeless and that guy came up to me in a Supreme hat,
I'm with you. I get you.
Get the fuck out of my face. Yeah. I'm trying to die here.
I was gonna die under this.
You don't want a
bridge.
Tesla, bro? Camera zoom, 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 zoom.
I get it. I get both sides. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
Don't forget
understand.
to like and subscribe. ZipRecruiter.com.
He's so fucking mad. I like Mr. Beast, is all. His videos are entertaining.
It's back to Redbone.
Kent's like, I used to like these people.
If there's one person in this world that Kent would call a moon baby, it's Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think I've called him that before.
Oh, stop by with Ted and HR on the way out, Kent.
He looks like a chubby chipmunk.
Yeah, he got his teeth fixed though, so that's something.
Looks like the kid that would be like playing with Pokemon cards on the school bus.
He does. That's kind of what I like about him.
I'm not going to win this fight. I can already tell.
I like rooting for the underdog, which he is.
How is that the fucking underdog? Are you?
Because he dropped out of school to do YouTube and his mom kicked him out of his house. And now he's
Oh, what a
fucking
winner.
loaded at 23. He's an
God,
underdog.
what? That's somebody we should look up to.
Look mad. He got so lucky. It's all good.
Yeah.
ZipRecruiter. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
You two, mommy and dad are fighting. I'm gonna lock myself in my room and read about Swiftwater by myself.
I'm sorry. Okay. Fuck. He gave
Fucking moon baby.
gave Charlotte's dad a horse.
Mr. Beast did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Supreme out. We got a horse and $5,000. If Moon Baby here.
Yeah, Moon Baby sounds like a name that the Shannon might have given.
It does, yeah. It's
Yeah.
either that or Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, horse. Funny guy. Sense of humor. Okay, so he's like gaining favor in his tribe. Unfortunately, the Canadian buffalo, they call them buffalo, what they actually are bison, were being hunted into extinction.
Extinction?
Thank you.
I'm from Kentucky, by the way.
She's from the Kentucky of Canada. That's not that much different.
That's
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate. Kentucky and Florida, Texas a
Yeah.
little bit. We're just all the worst states.
The yeehaws.
So they're being hunted into extinction, but this is what he's most trained to hunt. So his family becomes sort of nomadic to follow the bison population to hunt them to survive. But their numbers dwindle so low. And fun fact, the reason that their numbers had gone so low is because they were purposefully being killed to be removed as a food source. This
Yeah,
was,
North
like,
Americans
intentional.
were starving them out.
Oh, okay.
Old
Okay.
school tactic. Scary.
Yeah, so they moved. He's far now away from his tribe. They've moved all over Alberta, and he struggled to provide for his large family. And so he decided to basically shift over into trapping and trading and acting as a guide for the Northwest Mounted Police in order to get resources from the trading post to feed them and provide for them. So he's now settled down in what is modern day Fort Saskatchewan. It was Fort Saskatchewan then too, but right now, for anybody in Alberta, Fort Saskatchewan is where all this happened.
But that now it's like a little town. Before it was actually like an army fort, right? Like when Swift-Runner was there.
It was a post. So it was a fort, but it wasn't
gotcha.
military. It was like a police
gotcha.
post.
But now it's like a city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the post is actually still standing there. Fun fact.
Is it just one?
Yes, one post.
Okay.
This is like the North, man. This is like crazy up high, and they would just go up there for like pelts and resource. It's not like it's habitable. It's habitable now because we have the technology we have, but back then it was probably like hard living. Fucking scary place to be.
It was for sure. Yeah, okay. So he starts trapping and trading with the Hudson's Bay Company and acting as a guide for the Northwest Mounted Police in order to feed his family. And this led to a very deep depression because he came from a tribe where he was admired, where he had status, where he'd earned that status within that tribe. And now he's basically a fucking, you know, I was so much smarter before the COVID vaccine.
Exhibit A.
My brain is pickled now. That guy at the hotel that carries bags. That's the word that I'm looking for.
Oh, a
Concierge.
bellhop.
Bellhop.
Both of those things. Yes, he's basically that now, is what he does. And this is depressing to him.
Okay.
During one of his trips to the Hudson's Bay trading outpost, they didn't have what he wanted to trade for that day. But he's already trapped the game, right? He's got to do something with it. So he gives it to them, and they were like, well, all we have is this whiskey. And they give him the whiskey to trade. And then this led to an ongoing struggle with self-medicating his depression with this whiskey. And his alcoholism was described as violent and volatile, causing him to lash out at those around him and have frequent outbursts of unprompted sobbing and experience paranoia about the competition over available resources.
It sounds like you're drinking.
And he was drinking a lot. So in the winter of 1878 to 1879, Swift Runner had taken his... What?
I said good year.
Yeah, good year for whiskey, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that winter, Swift Runner had taken his family out trapping. So during his trapping season, he would set up a camp about 130 kilometers from, like 130 kilometers north of Fort Saskatchewan, within the woods, giving him easy access to the game in the surrounding area. But while he was there, he found, and this is how he described it, he found suddenly he could no longer hunt or trap. He was like, I'd go out all day for days and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't hunt anything. I couldn't trap anything. I've lost the skill, the ability to do it.
Yeah, being hammered all the time will do that to you, though. You lose skills, forget what you're doing, forget where
It's really
you are.
scary to me
Take a nap.
that you can just lose. I worry sometimes because now we depend solely on income from the podcast. I worry that I'm going to wake up one day and not be funny anymore. Like that's a genuine concern that I have. I think about it all the time.
Just don't get therapy. As long as you're traumatized, you're funny.
That's a good point. Yeah. As long as you stay uncomfortable. Yeah. And sad. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah, comedians are the saddest people in the world.
It's true.
It's kind of sad, actually.
Kind of sad.
But-
That's why I'm funny, because I'm sad that all the comedians are sad.
Because I contemplate suicide every single day.
Kent, I don't think that'll go away for you, buddy. I think you'll be fine.
It's just scary to think about.
But have you ever, you're a once in a generation voice, Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many people say that.
Yeah. Third time today.
I don't know. It's just
have you ever known someone that used to be funny and now you see them, you're just like, they're not funny? I don't know anybody. I think everybody's funny.
Yeah, Sarah Silverman. Sarah Silverman's probably the biggest. Seth Rogen.
Oh God.
I can name a bunch of people.
I guess so.
Stand-up comics end up towards the end, like as they get older, they're not funny anymore. It does happen. It's really scary. I don't know. It's scary.
That's true when they get successful too. When they're uncomfortable and struggling, they're a lot funnier. Once they're comfortable, they're not funny anymore.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
I just think like they're like 5 friends though that are like, yeah, make a movie with the swearing elves. That's a great idea. And they're like, ha 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 ha. So like think they're funny.
What if we made vegetables say fuck?
Yeah.
We're ripping on Seth Rogen too. Okay, cool.
God, that guy could fucking die in a car wreck and I wouldn't think twice about it.
You're not funny anymore. You should die, motherfucker.
I hate that guy.
No wonder you're afraid of not being funny anymore. Jesus, this is what you think about people who aren't funny anymore.
I also have a really bad case of imposter syndrome. And I think as long as I hold on to that, I'll be okay. I just need that. I hope that never goes away.
I don't know what imposter syndrome is.
So imposter syndrome is I don't know if it's a disorder, but it's a thing that people that do something and become successful at it get, where they always feel like, oh, they're gonna figure me out. They're gonna eventually people are gonna realize that I'm not supposed to be here, that I'm a hack, that I'm not good enough for any of this. And I have it real bad, and Jack does too. So I think as long as I hold on to that, I should be okay. That's like my.
Do you want me to let you keep holding on to that?
Yeah, I think it's a good drive.
Okay, I won't tell you that I think you're phenomenal, and you should
No, don't please.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit. And you know what?
Thank you.
I'm on to you. I'm on to you and Jack.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Operator, especially. That's probably not even his real name.
Ken, because I care about you, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that's gonna make you feel like shit, okay?
Okay.
Ronnie McNutt also thought he had imposter syndrome, so I hope you feel really good about that.
Yeah.
Is this live? Wait till we go to live.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to be doing a third Facebook Live after we wrap this up. And you guys will want to check that one out. Because
Your name's in the note, motherfuckers.
Well, fellas, guess that's it. See you on the flippity flop. What if that been his last words?
Yeah.
Flippity flop.
Oh, is gargling a word?
Get up to the gates, and God's just like flippity flop. That was it. That's what you went out on, flippity flop, Ronnie.
That's what you picked.
That's why you don't get in. I was gonna let you in. Flip.
Get the fuck out of here. Go down there. With Seth Rogen.
I fucking hate that guy so much.
Who's Seth Rogen? Me too.
Ronnie McNutt. Seth Rogen, I'm kind of neutral on. He doesn't do anything anymore.
What if we made babies say fuck?
The anti-Semitists or whatever rated my shit low. It's not that it sucks at all. That's where I drop.
And by the way, I'm high.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dick measuring in this episode. I'm kind of missing Tally and Christy right now.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, put it back up.
I thought you had a big dick.
That's why we're not trying to play with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just two chodes over here pushing our chodes together. Yeah.
We're actually the only ones with clits.
Yeah. Got a huge clit.
A huge clit. It's a big clit.
For a clit, it's huge.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Sorry. Carry on.
You guys. I'm okay. Carrying on. If I could figure out where I was.
Yeah, it's depressed, so he's oh no, he can't hunt anymore.
He's an alcoholic now. He can't hunt anymore.
Alcoholic, can't get it up. Gotcha. So he would come back empty-handed day after day until finally one day one of his sons died from starvation. That's got to feel pretty shitty. So at this point, his brother, mother-in-law, and wife went out searching for food along with all but one of the children, the remaining children. And that left him alone with his youngest son to wallow with his whiskey. So he claimed that he had spent the past few days fighting the urge to kill the prey that was right in front of him. And without anyone else in the home, he couldn't resist it anymore. He grabbed his rifle, he approached his sleeping son, and he fired one shot into his head. Unfortunately, this shot was not fatal, and he was forced to grab his hunting knife and stab a lot of times. And then he finished him off by clubbing his head to make sure that he was dead. And within minutes, the first cut of his family was cooking over the fire. And before the end of the night, he had eaten every bit of meat that he could pick off of his son.
Yikes.
Well, meetings are all about using every part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But at the same time, like, I think you'd probably gorge because you don't want to look at the leftovers, you know? You don't want to look at half the face in the fridge and go like, I should eat that before I kill the next one.
Well, he also hadn't eaten in like
How old was this kid?
many days. He was, I believe, the second youngest. 3 or 4.
Oh, that's not a lot of meat.
No, I thought
That's
he
like
was older.
veal, though.
Yeah, this kid was 3 or 4.
Very tender.
Indeed. The other white meat, the red white
Yeah.
meat.
The red white meat. Yeah.
The that's a good one. Um, yeah, because where he I just kind of want to stress this for people because I don't think everyone gets, like, where he lives now is in the fucking barren wasteland. It's not like he's like, I could just spend a couple extra hours in the bush and I'll find a rabbit or something. There's like fucking nothing there, right? Like he'd have to.
No, not where he is. No, there's lots and lots and lots of game.
Oh, he's just lazy.
I thought he would be like more north than that. Okay, well that's actually fucking gross then. Why?
I'm right
rabbit.
smack central Alberta. Fort
Yeah.
Saskatchewan is about 45 minutes north of me, so it's pretty damn close to central Alberta as well. We're not that far north.
Yeah. If he asked me, I'd be like, give it another day. Maybe.
Yeah, an hour. One
Just
hour.
an hour.
At least.
Eat the older one, at the very least. There's more meat.
Yeah. When they're that young, they grow so fast too. So like if you eat the bigger one, you have more food. And by the time you're ready to eat the
It was
second one,
the
there'll
only
be even
one
more
that was
food.
there. Stop dragging the guy. Jesus.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to judge.
What part of can't hunt don't you understand? He was sleeping.
Eat whatever kid you want, Swifter.
I blame the kid.
We're going right there. We're going there now.
That's what I was looking for right there. Finally, someone's on my side.
What time of the day was this? It's what he fucking gets.
It was nighttime actually, but okay.
Yeah, but probably early, 7:30.
Evening. Yes, it was dinner time.
Wow. I'm actually like, this is 150 years ago, so I don't feel that bad.
Are you sure it's not because they're not white? Because I feel like it.
Oh, she just hit you with that, Nick.
Well, I didn't want to say it out loud, but
You got me. Oh,
I was picturing a fucking saran in my brain, a little translucent fuck or purple person. Thank God.
Well, I want to say that it makes me sadder because they're Indians. That's how progressive I am.
I see that.
If these were white people, I'd say fuck them.
It probably tastes better. Anyways.
Oh, that is so
wow,
racist.
that is racist.
Wow. What?
Jesus, Richard.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, take a time out.
I would expect that from the guy that said moon baby. Wrap this up because I'm disgusted. Right
Jesus. All right. Richard, I'm very disappointed in you, but we'll go on. Talk about this later.
Well, you guys asked for it. Wait till you see what's underneath this sweater. My tats.
Are you saying tattoos or are you saying tits weird? Because I need to know.
Both.
My tats. All right. So the hunger, quote unquote, returned shortly after. And by shortly, I mean like pretty much fucking immediately. He wanted to eat another one. So he went out to find his family. So he tracked them down because suddenly he could track now. Until he found his wife and all of his children, but his mother-in-law and his brother had gone off on their own. So he waited until his family was asleep, and then he murdered his wife and his oldest daughter.
Hold up. So they were sleeping out in the elements.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they just came to the cabin, found the little one all butchered and went, well, that's odd, and then went to sleep.
They're not in a cabin. They have a teepee in the middle of the woods.
Okay, but they didn't know yet that the 4-year-old was already in doggy bags. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so they didn't go back and be like, isn't there one missing?
Okay.
Why are you
Okay.
fashioning a tomahawk out of those human bones, Swift
Yeah,
Runner?
like your new mask.
Taking a drink, just sipping herbal tea out of his skull. No, that didn't happen.
Okay.
Well, it did, but not till later. But no, the tea wasn't in the skull. The tea was somewhere else. There was a sock in the skull, if I remember correctly. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, so they go to sleep because they're out hunting or whatever, and then he murders his wife and daughter with a tomahawk. But he left his remaining son, which he called his favorite son, his name was Red Hawk, and the infant daughter, his infant daughter, actual infant baby, alive. So the oldest son, his favorite son, and the little itty bitty baby still alive. Okay. So he cooks his wife and daughter, and him and his son eat them together.
Oh, Red Hawk joins in.
He did
Man.
whatever he was asked, basically. Yeah, Red Hog
Well,
ate them, for sure.
I guess if you watch your dad kill your mom, and your dad just like eat up, you're like, okay, I'll eat. Sorry. Aren't you hungry? I guess so.
Yeah.
Just the conversation over that meal.
Yeah, that'd be
So,
intense.
how are things? Good.
Back.
Mom's dripping off his face.
Oh God. Oh God.
This pork was very fatty.
I wasn't ready. Oh
Imagine
geez.
just making puns while serving up parts of the wife. Like, let's face it, and just slams her head down. We're hungry. And I'm just like,
Dad jokes while he's
Oh.
cooking his mom.
Come over here, give me a hand.
Oh,
Shaking it.
fuck.
yeah.
Break a leg.
It's nice to see that you're all prepared for cannibalism family dinner night. So sounds like you've been working on it. Actually, I'm a little concerned.
Survival of the fittest. I can outrun a 6-year-old.
For how long though?
Not my 6-year-old. I wouldn't need my own 6-year-old, but
I
like,
got you.
hey, if it's the apocalypse, the neighbor's 6-year-old gets
Oh,
down the
yeah.
street, somebody's gonna eat.
The 6-year-old be eating me, man. I can't run for shit.
Yeah, me neither. Got a bad knee.
Me too, man. So bad. They hurt when it rains. I'm fucked. Okay, so yeah. So his infant daughter laid helplessly nearby while Swift Runner and Red Hawk ate them. And they apparently ate all of them that night. 2 grown people apparently that night, which sounds completely unfucking believable to me, but this is the story he told. So I assume he lied.
I'm gonna say he lied.
Yeah.
Like a full-grown human woman, even if she's starving and everything, she's like 80 pounds. You know, let's pretend.
Yeah, it's a lot of meat.
Yeah, this is like still like 50 pounds of meat. My God.
Yeah, I don't think so, but this is what he says happened. He also was out there all winter, and he claimed that this happened like a week or 2 in. So I don't think so.
Yeah.
What were you eating?
What
the
a
rest of the
weak,
winter?
what a weak-hearted bitch. 2 weeks in, you eat your
Yeah.
family.
Oh yeah, right?
2 weeks in.
The guys from Alive at least waited like a month, I think, right? Like before they
Yeah.
were buddies. That's their friends. Never mind your family.
That's less time than you have to spend to win the show alone.
Yeah. Oh,
2
God.
weeks, you're eating your family.
That's outrageous.
I know.
Just wait a day.
Just give it
An hour.
another day.
An hour.
Sit on it.
Yeah, like I said, he said he ate them all the same night because he said that he ate them all the same night because he also killed the little itty bitty baby that night too. Is what he says happened. Because he was still hungry, is what he says. So he apparently ate their entire bodies in one night and killed and ate the baby.
Okay, who's he telling the story to? That's what I want to know.
The Northwest Mounted Police officers when he was arrested.
Oh, so he's trying to act tough for the cops. Like, there's no, anyways.
He was trying to build his defense, I think. We'll get into it though. This is actually a very important aspect to it.
Yeah, the most disgusting part of this whole story is the gluttony.
Yeah, out of all the sins.
Gluttony. You've ate 2 whole people and you still have to eat the baby. At what point is it enough?
It's just not smart rationing.
No. Yeah, at the very least, ration it.
Yeah. You know you're going to be hungry again. It's been 2 weeks and you want to eat your family. Like, what are you going to do when you run out of family? There's lots of weeks left.
This is the last guy you want to join in like the zombie apocalypse that you want to
No,
improve.
for sure. The worst.
We have a box of Cheerios. and 1 gallon of milk. He's like, let's eat it all right now. I'm starving. It's 3 minutes into the apocalypse. Let's just eat it all now.
We're gonna die anyway. Just eat the milk.
Their milk hasn't even expired yet. He's like, you want to eat my family?
Exactly.
Jesus, calm down.
Oh God. This fucking guy. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so once there was nothing left for Swift Runner and Red Hawk to eat, they set off looking for the mother-in-law and the brother.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, they found them right away and dispatched them while they were sleeping, apparently. Because again, his sudden ability to track is back. He can sneak up on 2 sleeping people and not be detected in winter.
And I'll say this,
in a
people sleep
forest.
too goddamn much in this story.
This is like
There's
all
water.
one fucking night.
What? Oh, this is okay. Oh, okay. This
Yeah.
all happens in one night.
This is what he says.
He's got to
He's
be
hungry.
so full. He's got the meat sweats.
I know.
Yeah. Is this like he had to get his money's worth? Is this a buffet? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, this is like 2 weeks into winter, and he survived the whole winter. So this
He's
story
high
does
as
not
shit.
add up in so many. He is drunk all the
Yeah.
time.
That's not, hold on. I've been drunk before. I've played mailbox baseball. I've drank Jameson and whiskey and done silly things, but I never woke up from a hangover and be like, man, I wish I hadn't ate my family last night. I'm never drinking Jaeger again.
This ain't Jaeger, man. This is some 1800s whiskey. This shit's not right.
Yeah, I feel like it's still not going to push me to the point where I'm eating someone. I've been drunk too. I've been very drunk. I agree.
It wasn't him. It wasn't him. He's innocent. Let's keep going. So yeah, so they go, they find them, they dispatch them quickly, and apparently Swift Runner sent Red Hawk to go fetch snow for the cooking pot, and they again feasted. So finally, as spring approached, and again, apparently they were all eaten in one night, so I don't know what they ate the rest of the time. He just kind of is like, I don't know. But spring comes and Swift Runner murders Red Hawk to avoid being found out, and for no reason eats him as well.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, and apparently Red Hawk didn't. So
Yeah. You ate everybody else, but I know you won't eat me because I ate them with you. Right, Dad? Smack.
yeah.
Oh shit, Dad's drinking tequila again. He gets chompy when he drinks the tequila.
Chompy. Oh Jesus.
2 more drinks and he'll eat it, toddler. Anyways.
Okay, cool. Anyway.
That's all I got.
Some of the accounts actually say that he killed his wife first and then commanded his son Red Hawk to kill his younger brother, while Swift Runner killed his infant daughter by hanging her from a lodge pole and pulling on her feet. I find this one far less likely because it doesn't account for the remaining daughter at all, and she was there and killed. So anyway, that's what happened basically in the course of that winter. So the Swift Runner case cannot be attributed to lack of available food source. He lived within a day's walk of the Hudson's Bay trading outpost, and the area in which his family camped was home to many game animals, from rabbits to moose. And this guy could take down bison. He can handle them. Okay? He's huge dude, this guy. Big fucking guy. Very sturdy hunter. There's a picture of him standing next to a Northwest Mounted Police officer on the day of his execution, and he could easily kick that guy's ass. He was over 6 feet tall and weighed about 90 kilograms. That's like over 200 pounds.
Okay. Thank you for putting it in retarded terms. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Anyway, yeah, so this is actually largely why he was caught in the first place. He returned to his nearby community without his family, and he entered a local Catholic mission and told the priests that his family had all perished from starvation.
Technically, they did.
His starvation?
Yeah. Not a lot.
He's like, hangry. Get that guy a Snickers. He was hangry.
He wasn't himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is not unheard of for entire families to perish over the course of a winter, but it's definitely concerning when he claims that he maintained his brick shithouse physique on a diet of melted snow and TP. Literally, he said that he survived by eating their TP.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot of calories in toilet paper.
Yeah, do they have toilet paper in 1880s?
TP, I get it.
Got me.
That's funny. That's good.
I'm
Classic.
sorry. The Donner Party, I just want to say, ate their own shoes before they resorted to cannibalism.
Yeah, they did.
Just want to point that out. So this guy got a little bit of a shiver and went, guess it's time.
I just wonder how much of that is like made up by the white people, like who want to vilify this guy, you know? Because it's fuck, man,
Oh, here comes Richard trying to save himself from earlier comments.
It's just like common sense. It's not racist to think white people taste better. Jesus Christ, look at us. It's the white meat.
I would argue that black people taste the best because of all the spices that they use.
I'm the racist.
That's something they're proud
That'd
of.
be
That's
cool
not
though,
even being
man.
racist.
Eat East Indian people. They come pre-seasoned. That is legit excellent
That's a
advice.
good point. Yeah. Yeah, if I had to, I would say black people taste the best and then Mexican people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
And to make
I'm
up
gonna
for
go-
everything that I've said in this episode, I'm going to put white people at the end.
I could make a fucking fantastic taco with a Mexican person.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like a baby.
Guys, we all taste the same.
I wonder how the listeners are going to react to 3 white people talking about eating Mexican babies.
Not well, would be my guess. But let's find out.
Okay, we'll see.
That's half the fun of this show.
Can we get another 1 star? Let's do it.
I genuinely thought Thomas Quick would be the end of us, and it wasn't. So, and we talked about a woman spontaneously miscarriaging while a 7-year-old had a blowjob. So,
Oh,
um,
that's a lot. That is like a lot to take in. You just hit me with a whole lot of information, probably in the shortest amount of time possible.
Christy fucking set us up. I'm so mad at Sweden still.
I know, fucking Sweden. I hate them so much.
What did Sweden do?
Listen to the episode, you'll find out. We're all fucking mad at Sweden, okay?
Okay.
On board. Okay, yeah. So he goes in, he ate the TP, and I keep saying priests. The priests also knew that many of the other local trappers had a very successful winter. Okay, so we know for sure this is not a factor here.
And this guy's lazy. He's just lazy.
I don't know, man. Have you ever killed 5 people?
I mean, I really don't know. I have no idea. I don't know where all those bullets went.
Yeah. I was putting the business end towards people. So
Okay,
maybe-
well, have you ever killed 5 people without heavy artillery?
No, No.
There you go. Who's lazy now, motherfucker?
never ate any of them. But I can tell you this. I would have given it a day. I would have just slept on it.
Just at least an hour.
I would have slept on it.
Yeah, so the priests didn't act right away on any of these like weird doubts that they had, because they had them for sure. Instead, they offered him, respite in the mission. And during his stay, Swift Runner was plagued with such horrific nightmares that he would scream so loud it awoke everyone nearby. Local Cree people reported to the priests their fear that Swift Runner was a Windigo.
Mm,
And we'll get into Windigos
naturally.
in a little bit here. So finally, one of the priests, Father Hippolyte Leduc, or in some reports, Father Cremus.
Cremus?
Father Cremus too?
Oh,
That
God.
sounds like the worst first communion ever.
Yeah. These children were safer with their father.
I think I'd rather get eaten by my father for sure than
Yeah.
eaten by my priest.
You're gonna
Not to be
we're gonna let
swallowed.
you stay the night with Father Cremus.
Ugh. Grosses me out and I'm an adult.
It should. When you grow out of being grossed out by that.
just thinking about sending the kids to have the evening with Creamus. That's what I'm saying. Not,
So
of course,
you now, as an adult, would send your children to
I'd
have an
send
evening
myself-
with Creamus.
myself.
But not...
I could spend a night with Creamus and I could spend a night with anybody, just not Creamus. That's what I'm saying. Creamus would gross me out even as an adult. Going to spend the night with Creamus.
Fair enough. No one wants to spend the night with Creamus. But it also may have been Father Hippolyte, so let's just wait and see. Or it's too late. We don't know. It may have happened. It's too late. So one of them notified Sub-Inspector Severe Gagnon, or in some reports, Northwest Mounted Police Superintendent Jarvis. So nobody could agree on who these two people were for some reason. They notified them of the suspicions after two boys approached the priest asking for permission to join the group of children that Swiftrunner was taking into the woods to hunt. And by hunt, I mean taking them hunting, like to hunt other things. But what he means is to hunt them. So Swiftrunner had become really close with the children during his stay because he enjoyed regaling them with tales of hunting and wars with the Blackfoot Nation, which I imagine would be pretty fucking cool, considering there's nothing to do there.
It's 1880s. The stories are the best part of the day. It's like TV.
Wars were so much cooler before guns, man.
They were.
So Swiftrunner was arrested on May 27th of 1879. He denied that he had murdered his family. He claimed that his first child died, and then his wife became so inconsolable she took her own life before the remaining children starved to death. One report from the time said that they organized a search party to find Swiftrunner's camp, and Swiftrunner accompanied them, supposedly acting as a guide. But he seemed to purposefully be misleading them, and he twice tried to escape. So he reached a point where he was becoming belligerent with the officers that he's supposed to be leading to the camp. And another local Cree guide named Brazo suggested that they could get him to cooperate if they offered him his preferred vice, which was a concoction of tobacco and whiskey called Muskiwabwi.
Okay, wait. They put tobacco like and let it seep into the whiskey and drink
Like
that?
tea, yeah.
That's fucking nasty.
Ugh, I'd rather eat the child.
Starting to make a little more sense
ever-
now, ain't it?
Yeah.
You ever
it
do
is.
chew before? You ever do chew?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm from Kentucky, dude. I was born with a chew in my lip. That's, I smacked the baby on the ass to get the chew out of its mouth. Whenever it's born.
It's only crying because it doesn't have the chew in its mouth anymore. I got
When they cut the umbilical cord made out of tobacco vial. Yeah.
All right.
You ever drink dip spit?
I have by accident. I fucking.
It's the worst
yacked.
thing on earth.
Yeah, it was
Ew.
gross. Yeah.
I drink dip spit mixed with orange juice.
What?
Yeah, it was like, and it was super goobery. It had like an egg consistency, like a raw egg consistency.
It's turning into a gagger, guys.
I'm not responsible for this. I'd eat the child before I do this.
Mixed with orange juice and tobacco flecks from the dip spit. Yeah, it was very thick.
Ugh. I just did it at a party. I thought it was my drink, and I went, "What?" And I went puked.
I drank like a beer with had a cigarette butt in it once. It's like
Ah, done that on
That's
purpose.
you're not right, Kent.
You're not right.
So once he was drunk on his preferred concoction, he agreed to lead them to the camp. So upon their arrival, they found nothing remaining of his family but a pot of human fat and bones littered among their belongings, some of which were broken in half and hollowed out, meaning that he had sucked the marrow from within their bones.
It's the most nutritious part.
Did they know it was human fat boiling? When did they come up and just like stick a finger and go, "Yeah, a human"? And just like,
Apparently, human fat has a very recognizable consistency.
all right.
Who knew?
It's
Yeah.
yellow.
Not if you're a vegetarian, it's not. It's white.
And the bone marrow, fun fact, is the only thing that you can eat 100% out in the wild and not have to worry about getting parasites or worms or anything out of. Because it's encased in bone, parasites and bacteria can't get to it. So it's kind of housed in a little safety device. So it is The only thing that you can also, people eat meat raw. Indians did it all the time, but was always a gamble, to getting sick off of it. If the animal was sick, you were going to get sick. But bone marrow, you can eat completely raw off any animal and not have to worry about any kind of negative side effects.
Have you done it?
I have not, no, but I know people that do. It supposedly tastes, it's very creamy.
It's creamy?
Yeah.
That should not apply to anything within your body.
Creamus.
You have a kid.
One time.
Not for me.
Do not recommend.
1 star. Yeah.
So yeah, that's disgusting. Sucking marrow from your family's bones. So his TP was very much still standing. He didn't even eat that. So the officers collected what remains they could, and they put them in a sack, and they buried what they couldn't bring with them. There's actually a photo of all of the bones they found stacked up on a table. They're all picked totally clean. So back at the fort, Jarvis says that one of the skulls was sitting on a table, and Swift Runner put his finger into the empty eye socket and said, "This is my wife." At which point he broke down and he told the officers that he had made beef, quote, made beef of his family because he had been possessed by the spirit of a Windigo.
I had $1.
I feel like that's a pretty convenient excuse to being lazy. I'd rather just tell him I'm a Wendigo and eat you all.
Have you ever killed 5 people?
Yeah, I feel like if
Killed and prepared.
I have not, but this is the way I think of it. Okay. You're sitting at your kitchen table and you're like, okay, I guess I got to go get food, and you got to put your boots on. You got to go put a jacket on, put a hat on maybe, or you look over at your 4-year-old and go, you know what?
Right there.
That's right there.
He's living outside. He has the jacket and the boots and the hat on already. He doesn't have to go that fucking far.
He's drunk. Probably in his underwear.
I don't Windigo. Okay, let's hear about it.
So you remember earlier when we were talking about the Mandela effect, and I was like, hey, what's more likely? Interdimensional other existences, or just people having bad memory? Let's take, with that mentality, let's go, hey, what's more likely? This guy was just a lazy alcoholic, or it was a fucking mythological creature called a Wendigo?
I lean towards mythological creature.
Okay, fair enough. So that's where we're at.
When given the choice, cryptids are my preferred. Yes.
Sleep on it.
I'll give it an hour.
Okay.
Best I can do. So the term Windigo comes from the Ojibwe word Windigo, or the Cree word Witikau. According to the beliefs of the Ojibwa and the Cree-speaking Algonquin tribes, the Windigos were created when a lost hunter resorted to cannibalism hundreds of years ago, and it transformed him into a beast with insatiable hunger for human flesh and the ability to turn others into Windigos. So people can be possessed by a Windigo in the woods by chance. They can be possessed as a result of an act of intense greed or cannibalism. Or Windigos could be summoned and assigned to someone by their enemies.
Do you know how to summon them?
Yeah, I do.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, Wendigo.
He's got
That's
a Wendigo call. Good.
That's what my dad taught me anyway.
Yeah.
The Windigo shrieks, actually. Read your fucking mythos.
Yeah, you just stand out of the woods and scream.
Yes, that's what they do.
Anyways, okay. That's you can assign them to someone. That's something too. Like, I want to make you a killing beast. Like, it seems like a weird thing to want someone to be.
They also respond to the typical, you have a piece of ham.
Sorry. When the individual is possessed by the Windigo, they go through a transformation every time they feed. This is according to the legends. So some modern depictions are humanoid and almost deer-like with antlers, which is odd because antlered creatures are in fact herbivores. But the antlers actually don't appear in any of the original indigenous legends, none of them. So in the original legends, and this is sort of a combination of all of the characteristics, which sometimes did differ between tribes, the Windigo is described as incredibly large, but also emaciated to the point where its bones would protrude all around its body. So the Windigo could grow to a great stature because it would grow the mass of its last meal every time it ate, but it would continue to starve, prompting it to continue to feed with an endless hunger until it was killed. So going back to him allegedly eating 4 or 5 family members in one night because he couldn't stop because he was possessed by a Windigo.
So this is the defense he's trying to set up for himself, is that he's a Wendigo. Like I guess that could have worked in the 1800s. I don't know.
Either that or he's actually a Windigo.
Imagine if Kyle Rittenhouse had tried that.
I was a Wendigo officer. I tripped, shot him in the face because I'm a Wendigo.
Yeah, and the judge still would have been like, cool. Sounds good. Off you go, young man.
Get out of here, Waddy.
Here's your gun. Have fun. Have fun out there. Protect them streets.
Fucking whippersnappers.
Yeah. This guy's going places. You're gonna be chief of police one day.
Didn't expect that to come up this episode, but
Yeah, sorry.
Why not?
I've got a checklist here. The last thing is actually jerking off.
we're
So
coming to it. I'm surprised it didn't come up when you were talking about using her hand. Actually, I thought
Yeah.
that was going to be the moment, and I was like, disappointed you can't. But let's move on.
I thought about it,
Too easy.
but I've got something for later.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, see, he could take a lesson from Kent. Save some for later.
yeah, ration it out.
I feel like Kent is like on a mission to try and be offensive, which is great. I like it today.
That's what our show is. Is this because you spend time around Deadbug? You're like, I don't call people retards enough.
That might be what it is. Yeah, that bug has tainted me. I love that guy. You talk about a wild cat. That bug is a wild cat. He is a real silly goose.
I bet.
A real silly goose. Spice it up.
One of our listeners got kicked off it was Justin Wood called us a silly goose. You silly goose, and he got fucking Facebook warning for being offensive, calling us a silly goose on Facebook.
That happened. Yeah. Virgil got banned for saying fucking Canadians.
Yeah.
That's what he got banned for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canadians are a very oppressed. That's a very oppressed demographic.
We definitely are.
Yeah,
Thank you for recognizing it. And you know what? That's the first step in healing between our countries.
and we don't talk about it enough.
No, nobody talks about it enough. Finally, a voice.
I couldn't agree more. It's about time. That was the goal with this podcast, right from the beginning.
Good times.
Well, for some of us, Kent. For some of us.
I'm having a blast.
Where are we at here? Okay, so the skin of a Windigo was described as gray with an odor of death and decomposition, and their thin lips would be torn and bleeding. So some say there is no physical transformation, and they just basically become like a human husk without a soul that craves human flesh. In this case, that would be his Windigo. He didn't transform. I don't know. Maybe he went out there 5 feet tall. I really have no idea. But some of the legends say that they lose the ability to speak. They can't speak anymore. Some of them say that the Windigo can deceive and threaten and taunt. So they can speak, and they use psychological tools. And some of the legends also say that in extreme situations, the Windigo will even engage in auto-cannibalism, which he did not do.
Give him a day.
Yeah, that was the next morning. Yeah,
He was about to eat, and then the cops came. He was like, fine.
I've been out here 6 hours. Fuck.
I'm starving. I only had 3 kids last night.
And a mother.
Yeah.
And I also killed 2 deer, but I haven't got to them yet.
I don't feel like cleaning them, so
They get hair everywhere. Ugh.
Ugh.
Y'all are wild. There was actually a really good story. I didn't put it in here, but it was like translated from like in Korea originally. It was translated in English. It was like this story where this Windigo was trying to catch this boy that was living in the local town, and he followed him into his town, and the boy was like, it's a Windigo, it's a Windigo, and the Windigo was like, why are you telling these people these lies? But this town had like, you know, a Cree spirit guide or something that could identify that this was a Windigo, and they chopped the Windigo's legs off, and then they left expecting the Windigo to die. And then they came back later, and the Windigo had eaten its own legs. So that's fun.
Okay.
So the belief in Windigo spirits can be found as far back as the first documented history of these tribes, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And it's been found by historians and anthropologists that Windigo psychosis most frequently manifested during periods of famine. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
The phenomenon has been reported in various locations between Quebec and Alberta, and some as far as British Columbia, but the vast majority of them have been in Alberta, isolated pretty much to central Alberta.
Is that in the DSM-5? Like, is that a...
Wendigo psychosis? We'll get into that too a little bit.
Okay.
So despite using this defense at trial, his all-white meat jury took less than 20 minutes to find the Swift Runner guilty and sentence him to hang on August 16th, 1879.
Okay, you said all white. I know you said all white people, and I understand that was the case with a lot of these unfairly sentenced minorities. But we need to keep in mind that this guy ate his entire family. You know, it's not like this is a fucking all white jury. One guy can eat his whole family, and then these crackers.
Yeah, put him away. Like this is a witch hunt.
Yeah,
this is a Wendigo hunt.
If it'd been a white man that ate his whole family,
yeah,
you know. Sorry,
they were white dudes. What do you want from me? He hungered for them. Okay, he wanted to eat them too. Meat was the key word there, actually. So after being sentenced, one of the officers who went by the nickname Frenchie, which was weird because like all of them were from Quebec, but there was one guy named Frenchie.
He was like super French.
He was apparently like fat and homely. I don't know.
Super French.
Super fucking French, yeah. Frenchie described a rather ominous interaction with Swift Runner. He claimed that Swift Runner looked at him with ravenous eyes and said, "You would make fine eating," as he held up 3 fingers. "There must be this much fat on your ribs."
Not a smart man.
Frenchie clap. He's already been sentenced at this point. Frenchie claps back. "Pig, you too will make good eats for the coyotes, but all poisoned will be."
And he literally clapped back. He was like,
oh, I'm so funny. I am so funny.
They say that before he swung, he converted to Catholicism and admitted his guilt. And he also requested to be cremated, as the only way to destroy a Windigo is to burn it.
How long do you think they sent that priest down there to try and convert him still? You know what I mean? Like,
he did it he called the priest. He was like, "I want to go to heaven." And the priest was like, "Okay,
you just got to say sorry. You'll go. Like, trust me on that.
got to suck a priest's dick and you're there, man."
"Okay, Father Creamy."
Yeah. Creamus is here. Creamus is here. You believe in God yet? Because you will when I'm done with you.
Oh, jeez. This priest has been dead a long time, but it's not fair that we're dragging him.
The Catholic priests? Yes, it's okay that we're dragging the fucking priests.
Yeah,
fuck the priests.
We're fine.
Hail Satan. Fuck those guys.
I mean, of all the things we've said, that's the least problematic.
Yeah. That's where we got stopped today. Sorry, Sloy. I'll leave the priests alone.
Okay, yeah, fine.
What have the Catholics ever done to anybody?
A Catholic Windigo.
The worst Windigo.
Because they won't shut up about it while they eat you. So a crowd of 60 people were said to attend the momentous day in Canadian history. That this, again, was the first man hanged by the Northwest Mounted Police. And he hanged on December 20th, 1879. So we're actually pretty close to that. 3 days from now will be...
I used to be able to do math before the vaccine, guys.
142 years.
I mean, sounds good.
I think it's 143. Yeah.
We're getting there. Anyway. So there's a story from the time that claims that the officers at the post had come to like him so much that they weren't able to go through with the execution. Swift Runner had for a long time acted as a guide for them, and they'd become very fond of him over the years. And so a man from the crowd stepped up and acted as the hangman.
I can't kill Swift Runner. He brought me up the fucking creek last week. I could never. Anyways, like, what the fuck is that?
He was really charming. They apparently, a lot of them did like him, but there was definitely no, like.
He ate his kids and his wife.
Yeah.
Like, that's detestable. Like, fucking kill the guy.
Okay, well, if we could all be judged for the mistakes we've made in our lives, Richard.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah,
you're fucking perfect, Richard.
Glass houses, my fault.
Eat one fucking kid or 3. Suddenly you're the devil.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're a Wendigo.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't believe this. There's a quote actually circulating from right around the time that he was hanged, where one of the officers said about Swift Runner, he was as ugly and evil looking a face as I have ever seen. So he definitely would have.
I thought it was just going to be something racist.
No, just ugly.
Didn't even mention the kids. The cannibalism. Oh, we were putting on him. Oh, I didn't even know he was on trial for something.
Yeah, I know that guy. Ugly guy. Ugly fucking guy. He killed his family? No way.
I was happy he was dead. I'm glad he killed his family too, because otherwise I would just look bad.
He had actually also been fired as a guide from the Northwest Mounted Police due to violent alcoholism. And he maintained a decent relationship with some of the officers, but it had been very soured with many of them, who probably were also, racist in the first place. So racism is also a factor here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would line up to hang a.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'd rather hang a white person.
Yeah, me too, Richard.
I'm not picky, honestly. Like, I'd hang anybody at this point.
I just want to say that again. What Richard, I agree with that. So, say clearly what you said again, Richard.
I would prefer if this story turned into hanging white people.
That's not what you said.
Oh, I'd prefer to hang a white people, sure.
Yeah, that's what you said. And that's elitist of you. Because as white people, we already have so much. So how about you hang some of the other guys once in a while?
That's true. Fuck. I don't know how to be proper anymore.
Damn, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
Now we're taking all the hangings too?
Fine, I'll hang everyone.
There we go. That's equality.
But that's beautiful.
Now, see, the problem is I can't go like, white person go first. They go, of course the white guy goes first. So then I go yeah. So you got to line them all up at
he's
the same
old
time.
too.
And then I can't press the button because I'm white, because then I'm like, oh, the white guy is killing people. So you got to find a minority that's the perfect minority to go kill the
Yeah, make them work for the white man, Richard.
See what I mean? See, I can't even find a proper way to do this. I have to pay a living wage to do this. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a big time racist. I'll have to make them partners in my scheme.
Disgusting.
Exactly.
I'm so fucking disappointed in you, Richard.
I know.
I
didn't even realize it. You guys opened my eyes to, like, I've been living my whole life as a bigot. And I didn't even
I can't even hear what you're saying because the light is bouncing off your white skin. Your gross, sheeny white skin.
I know. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve the white skin.
What are you saying? White skin is better than other skin? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm
that is kind of what that sounded like a little bit.
No, what I'm saying is,
you said I don't deserve it, as if only those that deserve the best deserve.
It's because I'm being like that I don't deserve it. Because white people, we should probably
This is what backpedaling looks like.
I'm gonna fucking pass out. You guys are killing me. Oh, my chest
I'm a
hurts.
bigot. I admit to it.
I
I'm,
know. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And you're killing fucking people who are making slave wages in mines over in Cambodia or whatever too. So not winning any favors.
I hate white people. I hate myself the most.
Yeah, me too. I also found out you're straight.
With his little nuclear fucking family. God, Richard,
Yeah.
could you be any more cliche?
Little white dick.
Tiny.
Ugh. Let's wrap it up on these crackers. The crackers that are still alive at the story. The honkies.
Oh, right, because I guess all the native ones are dead now. No, Brazos
Yeah, they're all
around here
dead.
somewhere. He's around here. He's fine. Another fun story from that day claimed that the hangman had forgotten his pinion straps, which I believe were meant to secure the hangman as he stood on the gallows. And as Swift Runner stood there in the cold, he joked, "I could kill myself with a tomahawk and save the hangman further trouble." Charming fellow. Before the incident, Swift Runner was charming and well liked in his community, and there are some theories as to what caused a good man, a sturdy pillar of the community, to commit such a heinous act. And one theory was the alcohol, or quote, white man's poison, that he would get from the outpost was of questionable origin. And many people who imbibed frequently as he did, would suffer seizures, hallucinations, extremity numbness, sometimes blindness. Individuals who claim to have been possessed by Windigos they claim to have seen things that weren't there or weren't even possible.
It's kind of starting to sound like Wendigos just came in a bottle.
They did, yeah. Sort of like spontaneous human combustion.
Did Wendigos exist before alcohol?
Yes. Hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Yes. Yeah, they sure did.
That was going to be that's a big question. Yeah. It just sheer coincidence that Wendigo started popping up around the same time that Jack Daniels made his entrance into the Indian community.
Not this time.
Windigo is his Indian name, and Jack Daniels is his name that he just calls himself, like Charlotte.
Charlotte and Jack Daniel.
Yeah.
Individuals who claim to have been possessed by Windigos will claim to have seen things that weren't there or weren't possible, and hallucinations were likely the source of these descriptions of humanoid giants. The second frequently described symptom is body swelling, and sufferers will attribute this experience of swelling to a Windigo transformation. They believe that they are growing and their skin is becoming too tight because Windigos are so large and gaunt. And the third symptom that is described is chest freezing, a cold feeling in their chest. And the legends say that the Windigo turns a man's heart into ice, causing him to lose any sense of love or care for his loved ones, and instead seeing them as they would see a rabbit, to be trapped and cooked to feed their hunger, which of course is the last symptom, hunger, which is frequently accompanied by a distaste for food. So another theory in this case is that Swift Runner may have found a dead woodsman when he was lost in a severe snowstorm the previous winter, and that he had eaten parts of him to survive. And it was this event that caused the psychotic break and precipitated the future acts of cannibalism. Because he was raised in a culture where you were taught that eating a human was a monstrous act, and he believed himself to be a monster. Part of those beliefs were that people can have prophetic dreams that indicate the coming of a Windigo, or a Windigo transformation. So dreams about ice were believed to represent the freezing of your heart. Dreams of strange creatures could mean that an enemy had already summoned the Windigo and it's looking for you in your dreams. And if you had a dream where you partook of human flesh, the transformation is said to be already underway. So what we know now about dreams is that they're simply a part of your brain converting short-term memory into long-term memory. And so the more you think about or are exposed to something, the more likely it is to be incorporated into your dreams.
That's why I spend so much time thinking about Shania Twain.
She's from where I live.
She is.
Shania Twain is Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where I live, like the little town where I am in the middle of nowhere, that's where she's from.
I didn't even know Shania Twain was Canadian. I thought she was ours.
No, she's mine.
Not this time.
You guys got Brian Adams and Shania Twain
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
and Jim Carrey.
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey and Seth Rogen.
What if it's like Canadians, but they like say fuck?
Oh.
I'm high.
We should probably move on here. Okay, so people in the Algonquin tribes feared so much becoming a Wendigo that they would dissociate from reality and convince themselves that they had become Wendigos. And then they would develop psychosomatic cannibalistic urges, like the way people believe that they're sick after spending time on WebMD. You know what I mean? Like exactly like that. Brain tumor
Yeah.
or pregnant. That's the only choices ever.
I mean, this all just sounds like schizophrenia to me. Honestly, that's what this all sounds like.
Kind of does, don't it? But actually, there's a very interesting aspect to that as well. So Wendigo psychosis would also cause mass hysteria that spread within communities. People believing that they were Wendigos and that the people around them were Wendigos. And in Alberta specifically, it was such a problem that it turned into its own Wendigo trials, like the witches in Salem, neighbor turning on neighbor. And some people believed it was hereditary. So if there was one Wendigo in the family, it spreads to the other members of the bloodline. And so the tribes would first try to heal the afflicted with their holistic medicine, making any and all attempts to thaw the heart or prevent it from freezing. And typically the treatment would involve feeding them fatty animal meats or grease from cooked animals until they vomited. And then if that vomit contained ice, they had expelled the Wendigo's hold from this person. And then if the medicine people or the locals determined that the treatment had failed, which it always did because you don't vomit ice, they will be
Nobody,
executed.
ever.
So it's just like the witch trials.
You had a 0% chance of passing that test.
Where did this stuff come up with? Like, where do you come up with this stuff? You know, like puke ice. Anyways, it's just arbitrary things so you can feel justified about like getting rid of them or whatever you want to do. It's weird.
It's just like
It's like
Salem.
with the witches, they would throw them in the river, and if they floated, they were witches, and if they sank, they weren't witches, and they died
Exactly.
anyway. But
That's, I
at
mean,
least
it's
they
just
weren't
arbitrary.
witches.
At least you have a reason for wanting to murder. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. The year before Swift Runner's execution, there was an incident in Trout Lake where a Cree man, or and this is in the article, they called him a quote half-breed, which was an unpleasant term for Métis people in 1896.
For what people?
Métis people who are born from a white parent and First Nations
Oh, like
parent.
mudbloods in Harry Potter.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, this guy's name was Napanin, and he was thought to have been possessed by a Wendigo. According to the Brandon Times article from 1896, he was around 35 years old and he had a wife and several children. The family had gone out to Trout Lake to visit his wife's father. And on the second night there, he began saying animals were trying to attack him, even though there were no animals nearby. And they were there for 20 days, and during their stay, he began to get more and more irrational, and some say occasionally he would have violent outbursts. They said that his skin began to swell, his lips were protruding, and during his lucid moments, he would say, "If I am dangerous, kill me." On the 20th evening, a local group of 4 men tied him by the hands and feet in his father-in-law's house as he began to act out, to be violent. And Napanin almost got free in his writhing, and one of the men grabbed an axe and prepared to use it, fearing that if Napanin got free, he would kill everyone. And his wife was not aware that these men were coming, and so she had left to go visit some neighbors for the afternoon, and she comes home, opens the door, and finds him on the floor, and someone's standing over him with an axe preparing to bring it down. So she tries to stop them, and she's forced out. And she witnesses through the small space in the door that she could manage to force open one of the men bringing down the axe over his head 4 times. And he was buried in the local cemetery, and they had laid 4 great tree trunks, quote, great tree trunks over his grave, fearing that he would rise and slaughter the town. And no one ever faced any charges for this because the law of the time was you could reasonably kill anyone if you had the belief that they would kill you if you didn't.
Sometimes I think about this, like what, because like now thinking about that, just with a guy tied up with an axe, and that's like the reasonable response to this. This is what everyone's like, good plan, except for the wife who didn't really know. But I mean, everyone's like, good plan, get the axe, tie him up. You ever think like what in 150 years, what they're gonna look back and be like, wow, they were making some fucked up decisions thinking that was reasonable, like giving them pills all day, or like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the weird thing that they're gonna think we're doing all fucked up now that we just think is normal?
I
You
think
know?
it's what it's going to be is that we were watching Seth Rogen movies.
Did anybody ever find this guy funny?
Richard's over here saying, I'd rather hang a white man. And Kent's over here like, absolutely, if that white man is Seth Rogen.
I would join that lynch mob. Yeah. Any Seth Rogen lynch mob.
He's dreaming of the future. He's like, one day, man, one day I'm going to get it.
I did go a different place there for just like a second.
I can see it.
I was just to watch his fucking feet stop kicking.
In the following years leading up to 1907, two brothers named Jack and Joseph Fiddler. This is actually a really interesting story that I wish I could have gotten into more, but it would have made the episode too long. Two brothers named Jack and Joseph Fiddler convinced local tribes that they were medicine men with tremendous skill in defeating Windigos. And they killed an estimated 14 indigenous people claiming that they were Windigos. And they were eventually arrested and charged with homicide. Jack committed suicide, and Joseph died in prison 3 days before he was due to receive news that he had been pardoned. Isn't that fun? That's fun.
It's a good time.
It's just like, it's so crazy that that's like a reasonable thing to come into town and be like, there's Windigos around. Oh, did really? Get the axe.
Yeah.
Like, I find it so crazy. Like,
it actually reached a point where there were so many vigilante Windigo executions that the Northwest Mounted Police were forced to begin operating in rural areas just to prevent everyone from killing each other. So, I know what you all are wondering, and you probably have been wondering since the beginning of this episode. Well, aside from why does anyone find Seth Rogen funny, because we haven't let that go for about 5 minutes, so.
Been wondering that since Sausage Party.
But aside from that, you're all wondering, how do we defeat the Windigos when they awaken from their 50-year slumber and begin killing again? Well, have all the fear, because you can't. You can't outrun it. Their speed is inhuman, and they have supernatural tracking abilities. Once they have chosen to hunt you, either because they've been tasked to with sorcery or because you were a greedy sinner, they will continue to hunt you until you are dead. In the very unlikely event that you were able to escape a Windigo encounter, it is already too late because your heart has already begun to freeze and you will join the Windigos. But if the Windigo is feeling tired, it will simply use its ability to mimic human voices and beckon you to them, or simply let out a very loud, unsettling shriek, because that is how they communicate. Richard, if you
I'm sorry.
So you know not to go towards the Windigo shriek. But it doesn't matter. You might as well be shining a fucking beacon, because it's probably going to freak you out a little bit. And the faster your heartbeat, the louder it is for the Windigo. Can't hide from them either. Unlike a vampire, a Windigo doesn't have to be invited in, and it can handle any lock that you can make or buy. If a Windigo targets you in your home then becomes a hibernation domicile for the Windigo once it's completed its feeding.
I have family members like that.
I am like that. So.
Fun fact, Pet Cemetery, there's Windigo undertones in that story and movie.
Frankly, there should be more, and actually, yes, Pet Cemetery is based on the Windigos.
So that's fun.
Yeah, that's actually in the script later. You blew my wad, but thanks.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Was it really?
It was.
No.
It was.
They leaned into it heavy in the remake.
They did, yes, but in the original as well, he was inspired by the legends of the Windigos. So isn't that fun? Yeah.
So sorry, I fucked that up.
Hey, not my first time. My wad has been blown.
I love Stephen King. He's a white guy.
Best part.
You know why I love
I'll
Stephen
say
King?
this.
Because some guy hit him with his car, and 1 year later he died, and that's cool.
That's where he got the idea for Dreamcatcher.
He's a wizard, sorcerer. He would sick Windigos on you for sure.
Oh yeah.
Where were we at? Domiciles. Right. So all that sucks, but you can just load up on your sharps and your fasts and your blunts, and you can kill it, right? If Tally was here, she'd make a joke about smoking weed, but she's not.
Yeah, man.
Right. Okay. So if Seth Rogen was here, he'd do it too. What about if they're Windigos, but they say fuck?
What if we did? What if they said like dick jokes? Wendigos, right?
Fucking Christ.
Give me money.
You can just load up on sharps and fasts and blunts and kill it, right? Maybe you can, but a Wendigo regenerates. So if you successfully manage to incapacitate it with silver bullets or a silver blade through the frozen heart, you got to remember to smash the heart into dust, bury that dust in a box in a church cemetery. When that's done, don't take a break, because you must dismember the Wendigo with a silver plated axe, salt, and burn the remains of the Wendigo's body. And if you miss even one of these steps, the Wendigo can be resurrected.
Just so like made up. Just make shit up.
Yeah, what am I, Dean Winchester?
We're not done. I'm trying to give people life-saving advice here.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
And if you complete all of these steps and you are unfortunate enough to be the enemy of a sorcerer, another Wendigo will be along shortly.
Ah, of course.
just let me die. I'll just die. I'm good. That's a lot of work, you know.
So specific.
Yeah.
Like what?
What if I forget a step? Fuck. Again.
It's like when nerds get the ideas for potions when they're doing their witchy stuff. Who made this shit up? You gotta have a feather of a brown chicken that is on its period. And
yeah, it's because the potion didn't work, so they just added on the period. You know what I mean? Like they just went, oh, no wonder it's because it's not on its period, and then it just keeps evolving. Fucking.
it's like they try to make them so complicated where they can't be performed, therefore cannot be ruled as bullshit.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is correct.
Or you missed a step. It's always you missed a step.
Yeah. You missed the pubic hair from the troll.
Yeah.
So the last recorded case of Wendigo psychosis was in the 1960s, and I can't find it.
What?
Apparently, this is when it was last recorded, but I can't find the fucking case, and believe me, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
In the 1980s, there was a huge surge of interest in the psychology community to study Wendigo psychosis and establish it as a legitimate mental illness. But this was like, during the phase where everyone was trying to study everything and make it cool, satanic panic and hypnosis and all that shit too. So
I feel like that's a bunch of fucking nerdy psychologists being like, imagine we got Wendigo psychosis in a DSM-5. Yeah, like it's just it just sounds cool. Yeah. Yeah. It just sounds cool. It sounds like a cool name. It's better than like schizophrenia. Well, I guess schizophrenia sounds kind of cool too, actually. Just trying to think of a mental illness that doesn't sound fun. Depression.
yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Everyone
Sounds very
stays
sad.
silent. Yeah, it's a little sad.
Trust me, it's sad.
Yeah, so they tried to establish it as a legitimate mental illness, but by the end of the decade, it had been considered debunked on the grounds that it only existed within these Cree and Ojibwa-speaking Algonquin tribes.
Oh, and I'm the racist.
Oh,
It doesn't exist because the Cree are the only ones. Wow.
I cannot believe you.
And that it was largely limited to central Alberta, and that it had been completely eradicated with the modernization of society.
As soon as we crippled their culture, as soon as we killed their culture, it went away. It's weird.
It's crazy. It is crazy how that works. I didn't get Wendigos.
White people do suck. They're the worst.
Good save.
I wonder if there's a paper out there. I should look it up. I bet there is a paper somewhere from the 80s, and it's called "Where Did the Windigo?" I bet you.
Wendigo. I like that one. It's good.
That might be the title of the episode. Where did the Windigo?
There's on the picture of the paper, it's a guy doing this.
It's Zac Efron.
Just with antlers. Just
Yeah.
Um,
Get the rate review.
yeah. You're a Windigo. You and your whole family, huh? You want $5,000?
I put a set of Tesla keys in one of your family members.
Jesus Christ. This has so many crossovers. I'm getting confused. Anyway, I'm almost done. So it's essentially treated in the same respect as lycanthropy, the belief that you're actually an animal, like a wolf or whatever, right? It's considered a symptom of a more severe mental disorder and not a disorder in and of itself. So cannibalism has been observed as a part of many cultures, either as a normal occurrence or, like the Windigo, as a culturally specific affliction. So Windigo psychosis is a term in and of itself, same as like lycanthropy. I'll say it correctly once, and then I forgot how to say it. So anyway, now let's revisit what I said at the beginning of the episode. Vincent Li, okay, a man who cannibalized a stranger on a greyhound less than 2 weeks after delivering an edition of the Edmonton Sun that focused on Windigos and cannibalism. Was he a modern case of Windigo psychosis? Could his delusions have been influenced by what he may have read that day, and he believed himself to be a Windigo? When he said "kill me" in that courtroom, was he mimicking Napanin's words from the newspaper article? Or could he have, in fact, been found by a Windigo because he opened his heart to the existence of the Windigos and was then possessed by one, which would make him still a Windigo? So my question for you is there a Windigo in my city?
Richard?
No.
Rich is like putting his glasses on, flipping open a journal.
Yeah.
If you'll allow me. No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say as well. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say that you do, however, have an Asian man with schizophrenia.
It's a big city. There's probably a few.
It's either that or they didn't bury the axe in the proper place.
Bear with me though here. All I'm saying, Swift Runner, like over 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. Vince Li, over 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. I'm just saying Windigo transfer is not out of the equation here.
Maybe it's been him this whole time. He's been roaming the Vince Li just immigrated.
That's what I'm
You know what I
saying.
mean?
They do get grayer skin, right? So if he started out that dark kind of like,
Oh wow!
they didn't chop him up or cremate him. All they did was bury him. He got up. He sort of faded over the years. Okay, lost a little bit of weight. He's been eating people as he goes. Then he got caught this time. Oh fuck! I got real hungry on the bus. Fucked up. Went to an institution. Now I'm out again. He's probably eating
Yeah.
people around Edmonton. We just don't know.
Let's eat this
Yeah.
bland white guy. Yeah.
White guys taste amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
White guys draw a lot of attention. If you're gonna kill and eat somebody and you don't want attention drawn to it, don't start with a white guy.
White guys are the tilapia.
It's just generic fucking worst. Usually the fish you throw back are the white ones. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but tilapia can treat burn victims, so it's a versatile fish.
Oh, well.
Can it really?
Yep, they use tilapia skins they basically put it over burns, so really severe burns, and then the skin sort of grows along with the tilapia skins, and once they pull them off, the nutrients or whatever, it looks almost normal again.
Huh.
It's amazing research. Holy shit. Sometimes you can't even tell. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Tilapia.
yeah.
Something's fishy about this.
Way to go, tilapia.
We all got a good pun in today now. There you go.
Actually, I
Thanks,
think Kent's like 5 for 5, and we're sitting at a couple. So
Yeah.
once again, Kent is the superior comedian.
Get to the jerking off.
I am finished the story, and you didn't talk about jerking off once.
Not once. Or semen.
That's not true. Seaman came up, I believe Richard, when he said anti-Semitism, he couldn't pronounce it right.
Oh.
He in fact said anti-Semanese or something instead of anti-Semites. I'll go back and I'll get the clip, but I'm pretty sure you said
Okay.
it.
Of course.
Oh. I don't
Of
even know how to
course.
be racist, and that's how racist I am. I don't even care enough to learn how to be racist properly.
Of course, anti-Semitism would come up with Richard.
Yeah, of course. My grandpa was a Nazi.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Head on over to our Facebook and Instagram to join in on the conversations about all things unethical. Just search Unethical Podcast. You can also find us on Patreon, where you can get access to all of our super awesome content, uncut videos of our discussions, and early release of all the episodes. We are adding fun stuff all the time, so you should definitely come and check it out. Thanks again, we appreciate all of you.
Because I'm straight when it comes to humans, but fucking gay from old people.
I am your host, JD Horror, and this is True Crime Horror Story, a true crime podcast designed like an anthology horror movie. It's definitely not for the faint of heart and never played for laughs. Listener discretion is strongly advised. In seasons 1 through 4, we highlighted both notorious and obscure incidents of real-life murder. From world-famous psychopaths like the Toolbox Killers and Jeffrey Dahmer, to lesser-known evils that you may not have heard of, but have effects just as catastrophic for the victims and their families. Season 5 is coming soon, so subscribe now wherever podcasts can be consumed, and check out our website at www.truecrimehorrorstory.com. True Crime Horror Story. Sometimes truth is more brutal than fiction.